Welcome to the Comic Scoop, everyone, for the weekly review of April 6th, 2022. Now, starting off, I have a brand new comic coming out of Boom Studios, Alice Ever After. This is written by Dan Panosian with the art styles of Giorgio Spalletti. Here's a very gorgeous variant cover done by Jenny Friesen. I'm a really huge fan of Alice in Wonderland and all things Alice. So I was really excited to see this one come out, and I was really blown away by this cover. You got the white rabbit there. Of course, she's smoking a hookah. And I have your little cat, Cheshire cat, with a smiley face there. Uh, Dan Panosian is not someone I'm familiar with like writing wise. I do have a few different variant covers that I have collected by him. But so this story, Alice Ever After, this deals with an adult Alice taking place years after her adventure in Wonderland, and it's kind of a darker story with her with coping with life after being in such a wonderful place, and she has a little estranged from her family, kind of like the black sheep, and she is in it with some unsavory people because she has a bit of a drug addiction, it seems like. So there's this scene here that I really enjoyed. Um, and she just had this really terrible day, and she ends it kicking back a couple pills, and then she's in Wonderland. I really love how the just like the coloration of everything changes. Like the people or the characters are kind of grayish, but then there's this vibrant blue everywhere. It was a really interesting story. Yeah, I'm really curious to see more of this. I really like Alice, and especially like darker takes to the classic story. Oh, I didn't even catch this when I read it. That's cute. Little cats there. So like the narration's done by Alice's two cats, which I'm curious if they're gonna get more into. There's like two different cats that are talking there. But it ends with her turning herself into the mental asylum after, or some kind of hospital ward, after her connection was murdered in front of her. And she decides that this will be the best opportunity for her to regularly get her fix. And yeah, so that was pretty cool. And at the end of this, they have a little review or a preview for a new story coming out called Grimm, which just has like the "Don't Fear the Reaper" lyrics with this guy who has crashed his car, and then he says something like "Lucky to even be alive," and then there's a person who greets him. Is like, "Well, that's the thing, you're not." And it has kind of like the Reaper scythe there. So I'm curious about that. Definitely gonna check this out. May 2022. But yeah, all you Alice heads out there, grab Alice Ever After. It's yeah, it's pretty interesting. I got this the cover B, and there's the standard cover that's done by the writer Dan Panosian. And speaking of, now spoiler alert, because this is called the spoiler cover for issue 6 of Devil's Reign, and this is done by Dan Panosian himself. Has a little tag right here. But yeah, so the event of Devil's Reign comes to a conclusion in this issue, this sixth issue, following the events of Fisk beating Matt's brother to a pulp, thinking that he just killed the Daredevil. And that kind of sets Matt Murdock, unhinged, and he's definitely out for revenge. Yeah, we got all the heroes stopping the baddies. There's Octavius, leading the Thunderbolts. Yeah, and they take down the Purple Man's kids, or they turn his son against him, and that's how they take down the Purple Man. It's pretty highly climactic issue, so it was really cool. And I really love this part when Daredevil, Matt Murdock, specifically, he takes the cane that Fisk has been using that's embedded with the power of the Purple Man to influence people and turns it on him and beats him senseless. Like, yeah, it's really brutal. And of course, he's about to take the ultimate, ending, and he's talked out of it because it's Daredevil. That's not his style. Yeah, but this was really cool. Definitely, like check out the rest of the series if you're curious about it. And so we have Luke Cage on the front here with his mayoral campaign because he was running against Fisk to basically turn the balance back in the favor for superheroes since Fisk put out the like the anti superhero law. And since Fisk is now in the spotlight for his crimes, he is automatically out of the race, which means Luke Cage is the official new mayor of New York. So good job, Cage. All right, we're gonna go into the X books. So this week, Marauders #1 came out. One of the first parts for the new Destiny of X. Um, but this actually, we're gonna go back a week because last week I didn't do like a really heavy review for Immortal X-Men 1, which is really where it starts. And literally gotta do these ones side by side because wait for it. Bam. Yeah, that's perfect. Side by side variant covers. Done by Linnell Francis Yu, and yeah, has like a little bit of everyone in there. I'm missing one, which goes right here, and that's like X-Men #9, I believe. Completely overlooked that because I guess I got the Carnage variant instead. But yeah, this is really cool here. So X-Men, Immortal X-Men #1, basically just picks up from the ending of the Lives and Deaths of Wolverine event. And we follow Mr. Sinister. We're basically like in his perspective as he's like trying to get the upper hand on everyone and think he knows best. And it starts off with Magneto stepping down from the Quiet Council so he can retire to Araco, which I'll talk more about that later. And the rest of this issue is they're researching other or taking in other candidates to take Magneto's spot, to fill in the different gaps in the council. And yeah, the spot goes to Hope Summers, the Messiah, as some would say. And yeah, there's some pretty big spoilery things at the end, and need to continue with what they've been doing since the House of X started. Yeah, they're really gonna exploit this person's power, which I won't get into now. We'll touch on that when it comes up again later. So now, this week, Marauders #1 came out. So in Marauders, we have Kate Pride, who leads the band of mutant pirates to travel around the planet, picking up mutants who can't travel to Krakoa via the portals or those who are in need. And here we have a different take. So Kate is putting together a brand new team, and controversial character that we have on here is Xavier's evil twin sister, Cassandra Nova, who was responsible for the genocide of mutant kind when they were on the island of Genosha. He's given a second chance to redeem herself and this crew with all these other characters who have been known to be a little too violent, and they take their ships in another direction out into space, where they are now confronted with the Shi'ar. So it's kind of interesting to see where they're going. I guess they're going to become space pirates, or maybe it's just for this part of the story. But yeah, I have the connecting cover there by you, and I also had to get the Peach Momoko cover with Psylocke on there. Like the hair is so gorgeous in this. I really like the Psy energy here. But yeah, this is really interesting. And let's see. The final X-Men type thing for this week was X-Men Red, at least that I got. So there was an annual for X-Force that I did not pick up, which I probably will anyway. But I don't have that now. So here's X-Men Red. This is also a Peach Momoko cover with Storm on the front. Now, this takes place on Mars, newly named Arakko, which in the events of Planet Size X-Men, which came out June 16th, 2021, is the Dodderman variant cover for the gala. We literally see them terraform Mars into becoming inhabitable, and they share it with the Arakko Island. So now there's this planet of especially like high-powered mutants who are more aggressive and kind of living in their own paradise here. And it's very nice to see Magneto. He's like met by this one man, and he immediately is about to be his pompous Magneto self, but then he takes a breath and introduces himself and opens up to this guy like more than he's ever opened up, and it's kind of great because it's just a different side of Eric, and we all deal with our pain in different ways. Yeah, I really like this story. It was cool. We get to see like what Aurora has been doing on Arakko, because she's the regent of Arakko, which is essentially queen, but she's well, I guess shouldn't say that, because she's making the heavy point that she's not queen, and she's trying to get rid of that idea. But this is really cool, and it kind of ends with, there's like some stuff going on that people aren't really sure, and we have Abigail is being a little shady, and she's trying to put together like an X-Men team for Arakko. And what I really love is like we have the Fisher King and Magneto talking about how Arakko needs some protection, and what Storm says is what we don't need to do. Like X-Men's for Earth. X-Men does not need to exist here on Arakko. What we need to do is reestablish the Brotherhood. So I'm curious to see what does she actually mean by that. All right, Little Monsters number 2. This one was really great. So we come to find these children, they are vampires, and it starts off with what's his name, Rami. It shows like how he became a vampire, where his sick father is, dying, and going out and outside finds this vampire who's just eating him, and basically turns him into a vampire as well. Now, in a lot of lore, once infected, you are like partially vampire, but you aren't a full vampire till you have your first meal. And I think that's what's going on with these kids here. So the last issue ended with Romy finding this guy bleeding out, and he just kind of runs away. And then right after he runs away, we have Billy, who is looking for him and finds the same guy, and his fangs start coming in, and he has his first taste and immediately feels different, new, empowered, and he tells the other kids about this, and this is going to be the big change of their world. Little Monsters, really awesome. Very, yeah, this is on the top of my list. I can't wait for next month for the next issue. So that was cool. We have coming from DC Comics. We got a first issue of Batman Beyond the Neo Year. I'm a big fan of Batman Beyond and Terry McGinnis. It's a real fun twist to the Batman story. Now, this one's cool. So there's a comic series called Batman Urban Legends, and in issue 7, Gotham, or there's like a super intelligence that awakens in Gotham and essentially kills Bruce Wayne. So this is taking place in that reality. So Bruce Wayne's dead. The Bruce Wayne Manor is not available. Wayne Enterprises is being run by someone else completely. So Terry's kind of like on his own and like for the very first time doing the whole Batman thing like in his own way and just trying to figure out things as he goes along. We are introduced to a couple new characters in this. The holographic man, or Lumos, who is the new CEO of Wayne Powers. Yeah, I've never seen this guy before. I looked him up. It seemed to be like this is his first appearance in here. So that was really neat. And we have another, I believe, first appearance, because, again, I'm not familiar with this character, but they don't even say his name. Oh, wait, hold on. All right. They don't even say his name, but, yeah, Batman is fighting this, like, samurai-type guy, and Terry even mentions that nowhere in the databases does Bruce have this character or anyone that he might be any resemblance from like the golden years of the Batman villains. And yeah, this is really cool. He like charges up some energy and boom does this like big orb energy blast. Yeah, and that's kind of how that ends. It's pretty cool. Almost at the end of my video for today. Definitely pretty busy this week. I didn't get to finish everything, so I partially read the Batman Killing Time #2. I know. Like, I really love the first one, and because of how much I love this story and how, I don't know, I don't want to say in depth, but because of, like, the time jumps and whatnot, I've been trying to wait to, like, read this where I can actually sit down, completely focus on it, and take notes. Because it does that, like, Pulp Fiction thing where there's, like, the different everything's happening at different times. But here's a fantastic variant cover. Batman throwing out his batarangs over here at Croc. It's gorgeous. Nice good cardstock too. So I've read some of this, and from the events of the last issue, Croc is in prison, and Batman is like interrogating him Batman style. We got Catwoman and the Riddler hiding out in this cabin. And Catwoman is paranoid, waiting for any moment for Batman to show up because they stole a precious item from Bruce Wayne's safe. What's in this box? I'm not really sure. I have big feeling that it might have something to do with like his mother or his parents in general. And in this issue, we also bring in the Joker and show that he's kind of tied into like this whole scheme too. And he's who found out who Batman is. And that's about as far as I've gone. Yeah, more of this later. This is really good. And my last one of the week was Black Widow 19. So I have not been keeping up with Black Widow whatsoever, but this is the final issue of the series, and I really love this cover done by Jorge Fornes, which I got a similar last week from Hulk #5. Like, I just picked this up, and I love how he's like crushing the blinds and he's looking through there. And then I saw that Black Widow was having a similar cover, so I really like keeping things in a collection, so I had to get that. But yeah, definitely want to read this one later and see. It's the final issue, so it's definitely going to be a good one. Yeah, the art style, and that's really neat. All right, well, that's everything, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Tune in next week for the next installation. And yeah, you all have a good day. Keep your eyes out on Wednesdays for new comics and the new episodes of Moon Knight. This past episode was pretty awesome. I'm really excited we got to see more of the Moon Knight fighting. Yeah, comment below if have more questions or comments on any of these or the show. I'd love to talk more about everything. All right, till then, bye.